I grew up in San Diego. I'm a native San Diegan, but I was recruited. I led San Diego County basketball and scoring my junior and senior years at St. Augustine High School. And I was recruited by Santa Clara. And I went up there, and USF had won the national championship my senior year. And but Santa Clara recruited me, and they had a guy by the name of Kenny Sears, who was Bill Russell's. Bill was more dominant than Kenny, but anyway, I went in for that visit, and it was the only one that I took. I knew I was going to go to a Catholic school, coming from a Catholic high school, and I wrote Santa Clara after I got back because they hadn't talked about academics. And I was so he sent me Bob Ferrick was a coach there, and he sent me a letter saying, knowing that, well, since you don't really want to go to Santa Clara, we're going to give your scholarship to somebody else. And I was devastated. I had no idea where I was going to go. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from Coach Phil Wolpert offering me a full scholarship, USF, sight unseen. Awesome. And here I was going to the defending national champs. All right, so that's how I got there. And as I said, it was before Memorial Gym at USF. Okay, we worked at SI High School, which is now part of the Corrit Health Center, I believe, but St. Ignatius High School was there. So we first practiced, since we only had the one gym, the varsity, and we had a varsity and freshman teams then, and freshmen weren't allowed to play varsity sports in those years. And so I went down. Now, remember, I said I was a pretty good scorer in high school basketball, and I went out on the practice floor early on at USF, and a guy by the name of Jim Maston just gave me a forearm shove, just smashed me in a little 3-on-3 game. I thought, oh, wow, this is college ball. This is. Remember, these guys are defending national champs. And then I had to go against Russell and Casey Jones, and almost every shot I took was blocked, and I was devastated. I mean, how can they do this to me, you know? I'm an 18-year-old freshman kid, but it was something that I worked, and the thing that I will always remember, at USF, I was the only guy from St. Augustine High School in San Diego at USF when I went in there. Not only that, I was the only basketball player in the program from outside the San Francisco Bay Area. So here is the important part, and I don't mean to ramble, but I'll never forget this. Bill Russell, All-American, defending national champion, invited me to his home for Thanksgiving dinner, knowing I was the only kid from outside San Francisco area. How can you forget that?
That's pretty remarkable.
Now, I got to tell you, I didn't go because a freshman player had already invited me, but just the thought. And you want to talk about leadership with Russell and Jones? There's a prime example. Never forgot it.
Tell us about the freshman playing the varsity.
Well, I told you it was embarrassing for me because I couldn't get a shot off. I mean, I was looking to shoot, but again, I learned humility very quickly. I had to change some of the ego. My ego was kind of bent and busted and hurt and so forth, but I had to learn to play another part of the game. I went from being a scorer in high school to learning to play the real game and so forth, but I remember one particular thing in the scrimmage. Again, Ross Judici was the freshman coach, and we're playing Casey and Bill and Hal Perry and Mike Farmer and in the scrimmage. And Ross Judici called a timeout, one of those scrimmages. He says, Cunningham, all I want you to do is to keep Russell off the boards. Okay, I went out and battled Russell, and they had to separate us there for a while, and Coach Wilbur finally sat Bill down, but I mean, how do you keep Bill Russell off the boards? Nobody did in the NBA. Nobody did it in college, but that was my assignment as a freshman. Keep Russell off the boards. Tough job.